should just go. No, come back. Now that's the way to have a meeting, Cheryl.
Absolutely. I'm going from here to the grocery store. If I don't eat
Oh.
the grocery store, I buy the whole grocery store. So food is necessary.
I don't want to join
no,
my
just
phone.
go up
All right, town hall.
there. Do you wait?
No, not town hall.
I would do the do town. Okay. But do the fire. No. Wait 1 second. Do this one. Fire. Town hall. Okay.
And it's
Excuse.
no capitals, right?
7 minutes.
Nothing else. I have it written down somewhere.
This is the first time Jill hasn't come to one of your meetings you hadn't had, that you didn't hold.
Really?
Yeah, she's come to every single one, but now that you guys are actually here.
Who's that?
Jill Marland, Les Latonic's wife. They both like to come to meetings. Sometimes they come together.
Sorry for the delay. I think that's like our,
Well, the meeting's been open.
yeah. Anybody joining?
Nope. Maybe because we weren't there right at, I was 2 minutes late.
I think that they would. Is this my email too?
Cheryl, did anybody come to your Monday night meeting?
Yes, but she thought she was in a different meeting, and after an hour, she said, "What are you going to talk about?" Something, I don't remember what it was. And you said, "Oh, that's not on our agenda." She said, "Oh."
Was it
sorry."
Mary Lou Farrell? Mary Lou Ponca?
I don't remember.
Did she have, did she have just a telephone?
No, it was, she joined the meeting.
Can you send me the login?
Here, I can go to it. Oh, here's it. So pretty. Where am I?
Zoom?
Oh,
And she wanted to go to a meeting that started at 6:30. She joined us at 6:30. And didn't realize that we were going to be talking about the roof of something. I don't know. And so like 45
That's how I
minutes
usually
later,
get to
Oh.
it.
sorry. Same.
Okay.
Oh, I've never seen a penguin. It's so cool.
You like it?
Did you have to special order?
No.
Okay, there you are.
Join with video.
Uh-oh.
Join with computer audio. Got it. Oh, we're
Okay, I'm gonna make you the, did the feedback stop?
a little bit. Yeah.
Kristen, I'm gonna make you the co-host.
Okay.
That way you can be in control of the meeting if anything happens.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna also I'm gonna enable the waiting room.
Okay.
So you just want to check and see if anybody comes. Bye, guys.
Bye, thank you. But she's still all we can see.
That's okay. We don't mind. All right. So let's get down to business here.
Yes, let's get down to business. There's grapes and cheese.
Thank
and
you. I just want to do business so we can get moving through this. I'm so busy, Cheryl.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
there's just more and more popping up in my world, and so difficult.
Did you see the email and letter from Paul Blatch?
I did, that's what I have right here.
Okay, we're not going to have time to go through this today, but we both need to read this.
Nope, I already read it and I'm disregarding it. He is not a subject matter expert. He's been out of the field for 20 years. And he wants us to go into the length of time that police officers are on calls. And we would have to then go into another sub-study group so that I can explain how often officers are on calls. So I think we should stick to the subject matter expert, which is me. And, you know, I mean, he stated in the letter too that, you know, we might not understand terminology used, and I'm very clear on terminology and I can assist you with the terminology.
Yeah,
So,
I actually agree with him that it would be really nice to have time on calls. That would give us a.
so that
much-
is going to take us months to gather that because we have to go individually. There's no way to print the log out where it says, print out how long an officer is on a call. They don't do that. We are going to have to go back one by one by one. But what I can tell you is last night, Marcus was on a call for 2 hours. I can tell you that we don't take hour lunches.
Oh,
I can tell you
didn't believe
that-
any of that stuff. but-
So I just, I'm not even going to be, we don't even need to talk about that. It would be nice to know how long we're on calls, but that's going to take so much longer in time.
Kristen?
Yes. Oh, you froze, Becky. Oh, there you are. Are you coming down?
I guess so.
Yeah, so it's just going to take a lot of time.
Okay,
And
when I read that, I thought he meant that by.
yes,
asking-
ma'am. Hand me some stuff. Okay, is it, okay, I will be 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so, okay, okay.
Oh, my office lights look so nice. Ay, ay, ay. Weak signal.
That's okay. Calls ahead of time are so much easier for me. I'm gonna need it, yeah. What do we have? I'm not gonna take that in my hands. Okay, come on in. What is it?
It's unsecured, but that's okay.
Good for you. No, yeah, that's totally fine. Did you talk to them about your thoughts on this? Yeah, I think that the next stop on that would be if there's another attack, there's any physical altercation. We are, well, we are going to charge them. Because I'm trying to one direction. So I think that happens down there. And then, there's always the destruction. Yeah. You need to set that up. Yeah. It's okay, just, I don't think that some of that is super important. So, yeah, I don't want, well, anyone to be unsafe, but I don't want you to be unsafe in your own home.
And I said something, I did what you said to the pictures, handed that out to whoever yesterday. And I reached out to Valley Medical, which is aligned to his doctor, and I sent them some pictures and said the same thing to them. And it sounds like they're not even wanting to go to their psychiatrist that they walk out of here.
So we're gonna end up in the same situation as we did before.
We will.
And,
Yep.
this is the second time I've found this hearing. So yeah, I think that that's what our next steps are gonna
Yeah,
be,
I agree.
and what you'll do is just comment on
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
it. Yeah, you're welcome.
You want me to, you said you want me to call 911? Call.
Yeah, if there's a physical altercation, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And, I'll follow up with you after this meeting, okay?
just the one office down on those? There's not
Yeah,
one?
just one, yeah.
Know where she went. Maybe she's downstairs. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's not you. Elected officials.
you, Grace? You know, I just talked to Jason Zabko.
To who?
Jason Zabko, have you been aware of that situation at all?
Hey, Becky, you're not muted.
Whoa, it's like having somebody in my pocket.
Yeah. Okay,
How about a rolling Q2-1?
so that is asking for, it's another motor vehicle, so it's asking for information on the registered owner.
Ah, okay.
So the 9 gives us the plate information, and then the Q21 gives us the information on who owns it.
School resource officer, there's only one in.
Right, that's gonna go with anything that goes out to this community policing.
Are we calling that its own category?
I think we decided to because it's
Okay.
huge.
Search, that would be investigation.
It would be.
What's the
I
section?
find these very interesting, some of the categories that people used.
Yeah, if we had time, we could go through and see the ones that either started early and petered out or didn't, started later.
Yes, it'd be
And
so
try
interesting.
try to fix them so that.
So when I retire, you and I can sit down and we'll write a book.
I already have 4 or 5 books in my head already. so-
Okay, so a section 12 is for someone with mental health issues that is making suicidal or homicidal statements.
So it's assistance.
I don't like it for that.
Okay.
It's,
Peacekeeping.
it's really prevention of
Prevent.
someone trying to kill themselves. It's
Okay.
medical help. But
Do
we are
have a
making them,
medical help?
I don't know, but we're making them,
How about safety?
oh, we do have medical.
We do have medical.
Medical,
Okay.
it should be under medical,
Okay.
but it needs to be explained because then somebody like this is going to say, oh, that's medical. No, no, no. The section 12s can only be done by police officers or by crisis workers or hospital workers. So we have to say, I'm sectioning you, then EMS can take them to the hospital. So in the last department I worked in, EMS would not transport. We had to transport all sections that we did ourselves.
Oh, I understand that. Because,
Yeah.
Because you have a screen between you
Yeah.
and that person.
Yeah, so I feel like it's medical, but it's not.
That's all
Oh,
right.
you know what? It's good because we have suicide threat attempt medical. So it could go under that.
Okay.
Section 12 could go under that for sure.
Serve warrant.
Oh, serve warrant is going to be, well, that's falls under some kind of crime. They committed some kind of crime and they are being arrested and being taken to court.
So it's not actually a crime. The crime has already been committed and.
Do we have
sort of
something for
solved.
court?
We don't. I mean, I guess maybe we should.
Interesting because I do often say, put me out at court. Not
Well,
often, but at least once a week because we have to engage and pick up paperwork and drop paperwork
I'm
off.
allergic to something in this room. I'm allergic to a lot.
I'm
of things.
actually, every time I'm in this room as well, I
think
start
it's-
feeling a little flush.
I think it's mildew. I'm very allergic to mildew and molds.
Gosh, maybe we should have.
Okay, so we could do, I made the mistake of cleaning out this bag, so now I have no half-dead Kleenexes in the bottom.
Could it go under, could we make a category for court?
I just did
Okay,
209A service.
okay, again, that is our, what did we do service, paperwork service under? We had one that was,
Own category.
okay, so it should be 209A is the same as serve paperwork, well, with serve paperwork.
Paperwork. This is so annoying. I'm going to sneeze and then I can't. What's a 209A violation?
Okay, so that means they're gonna be getting arrested. So they violated their restraining order. And they're going to be getting arrested. So that means,
Court?
that's a crime. That is definitely a crime. So basically, they were told to stay away from a person.
So it's a crime against a person?
It is.
Okay. Service call? Yeah, there's not a lot of them.
It's like service call. Well, that could be serving paperwork.
There's too many to ignore it.
No, I mean, we serve a lot of paperwork.
So we're gonna put it under paperwork service then. Soliciting, is that prostitution or is that just like to try to sell stuff?
Typically here in Shutesbury, it is people trying to sell stuff door to door.
So it's,
So we're gonna call that peacekeeping.
so that the person in the house isn't gonna punch them out.
Yes.
You know, I haven't had any of those.
It could be
here either.
community policing, but I feel more that it's peacekeeping because people get upset. So we try to remedy it so
Yeah.
that people are not upset anymore.
Summons service, we're almost done.
Summons. So the court, there's
Court.
being summons to court.
Okay.
It's interesting how, this is why everyone needs, officers need to do a ride along in dispatch. So they learn the categories that dispatch uses.
Threat,
Okay, that's gonna be a crime.
that's a crime
Mhm.
against person.
Yeah, somebody threatened somebody.
Okay. I didn't realize that was a crime. Just
Threat to commit a crime.
tone test. I'm guessing that's just if your radio didn't work.
Or seeing if our radio is working properly. Radio
Uh,
check, that can go under, well, that could go under cruiser maintenance because it has to do with that.
Okay, so make cruiser maintenance its own category. Yes, we did. Okay.
I love that sheet.
Cruiser maintenance, and then finally vehicle fire. Should that go under fire?
Wow. Do not want one of those.
Oh, no, I know, but
So that should go under, into fire.
okay, so it's been an hour. Do you have a little more time to go through?
I do.
Okay, so that we can go through and see if the way I categorize things should be fixed, should be changed.
Let's see, yeah, let's see what we got.
All right. I think these all are clearly 911.
I agree.
Okay. Is there anything, oh, I have court under administration. That should not, it should be its own?
You know what? I think court could, but the service of paperwork is not really.
Why don't we take it out and
Okay,
make it its own?
court can be its own.
Animal complaint, I think those are pretty. clear.
SORB is admin because that's
What is?
sex offender registration.
Yeah. that's admin.
So we called SORB, Sex Offender Registry Board. Each department would have a SORB officer, and that SORB officer would then handle that in office, so. Animal complaints, good, yep, got one yesterday.
Then apprehension or retention of person, does that go, do these go under something else or should we keep
So
them
be on the
separate?
lookout is. Okay. Escort and transport are sort of two different things. All right, so let's talk about those for a minute. If I can talk about them, then maybe we can figure out what they do.
Yep.
A BOLO, which is be on the lookout,
Mhm.
can come cross county. It can come just Shutesbury. It can come for anything. And basically, that could go under prevention because what we're doing is we're looking for a certain person for a certain reason. And we're trying to stop them before they do whatever we are concerned that they're going to do,
Okay, so
whether
this-
it
this
be.
is Prevention then.
I would say prevention, because
Okay.
whether they be suicidal, whether they have stolen a vehicle,
Yep.
like
I
it's
understand.
trying to stop them in their tracks. And then the other one, escort transport. So escort, a transport is, it could be a courtesy transport where your car broke down and I'm bringing you home, or it could be a
Okay.
transport to jail.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of when I put apprehension, retention of person.
Yeah, so there's two different kinds of transports.
Those are homemade, by the way. Yes.
What is it?
Oatmeal raisin. Everything I have,
Everyone's missing out.
my food is all healthy. I mean, I try really hard to make my food healthy. So, you know, not chocolate chip cookies.
I love oats. I love raisins. I love all the things.
And these, by the way, these were
Mhm.
bought for my rabbit and they were so good that I have been poaching them from her.
They're delicious.
This time of year, you never know whether you're gonna get good grapes or not.
Mhm.
These are really
These
good.
are delicious. These are very good. Okay, so I don't know what to say about transport, because you could be transporting someone to court. You could be doing a courtesy transport. And escorting could be that you're assisting another officer in their transport.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
You could be
I-
escorting the fire department who has somebody who they're a little nervous is gonna act up.
Then why do they have them? It's the same category there. I mean, that makes no sense.
I don't know.
Okay.
I guess we could leave it as this.
No, it doesn't, it's not apprehension or retention of person if it's got all
It
those other
could
things.
be.
But it's not entirely that. It could be other things.
Mhm.
So I'm going to get rid of this. And this one is prevention and this one miscellaneous, because it could be, or what was the other one that we put things under?
It's either gonna be court or
Assistance.
community policing,
Assistance? Let's call it
Okay.
assistance.
but it could be transporting someone to court or arresting someone. Bringing them to the jail.
Okay,
I guess miscellaneous if we just explain it.
everything in miscellaneous is going to need explaining, and this doesn't have enough really to make it worth
Mhm.
spending any time on.
Mhm.
Assistance, I think we've covered that pretty well. I don't think there's anything here that doesn't belong there. Well, we moved two out. We moved
Mhm.
assist other agency to mutual aid, and officer wanted to its own category.
Mhm. I think that looks good.
Okay, assault is part of crime
Okay.
against the person.
Alarm, burglar, or holdup. When we talk about a holdup, that means that,
Wait, we just passed crime person. Is everything that's in there appropriate? in it?
yes,
Okay, fine.
alarm, burglar, holdup could be a crime against a person as well.
Oh, you're right. So should we move it up to there?
I
But
say
one of
we leave it, and if someone has a question, we explain it out.
Okay. Motor vehicle stolen, I put here instead of under motor vehicle. I think that's,
Yeah, illegal dumping, larceny, vandalism. Good. Fire, brush fire, chimney fire, explosion fire, alarm fire, other non-specific illegal burn, smoke investigation, structure fire. Good. Now, to speak to this, most of these things I get when people say, oh, if fire calls happen after hours, police aren't involved. Not true. I get calls.
every
So-
time I've seen a fire ever, including the time I had a chimney fire at my house in Shirley, not only did our cops show up, but the surrounding
That's
town's
right.
cops showed up.
That's
It was
right.
like, for a lousy chimney fire, I had 4
Mhm.
fire trucks and 6 or 8 police cars out in
Right.
front of my house. It was embarrassing.
Fraud, scam is a crime against a person. It doesn't need its own category. It's a firearms licensing, shots fired. I suppose that's fine. Follow-up investigation, obviously. alarm, lifeline activated, EMS alarm, medical emergencies, suicide, threat attempt, right? That's because it's going to end up being medical at some point. Moving on to
Motor
abandoned
vehicles.
motor vehicle, car versus steer, disabled motor vehicle, hit and run, motor vehicle accident, with injury, without injury, complaint, violation, parking complaint, radar traffic enforcement, suspicious vehicle, traffic control, traffic hazard, VIN check, all good. Now, we did have a couple more that we were adding to that, but
Yep.
keep the peace, noise complaint, and we have more we added to that.
Yeah.
Building, so prevention, we have yes, good, building location check. Can we add house check? Because now the officers are starting to do label things as house
Yeah,
checks
but we
as
won't
well.
have any numbers in there.
Okay. Drunk. So what does that mean?
I don't know. I just wrote down what was there. Let's see how many drunks there are. Not very many.
Yeah.
5 over 7 years.
Um,
And I've seen at least that many just driving slowly through the
yeah,
state
but does
park.
it mean they're driving? Does it mean they're walking? Does it mean that they're at the house and they're like
It's legal to be drunk at your own house. isn't
you
it?
can be drunk at an establishment too. You just can't drive from it. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Foot patrol area, suspicious activities, suspicious package, suspicious person, trespass, unwanted person. Carbon monoxide, gas leak, line down, pot, yes, good, beautiful, odor investigation, open door.
Should that go?
Open door, I feel like should go under
Prevention?
prevention,
Okay.
because if we're getting called to that, we're trying to lock everything up and
Yep.
make sure that
That makes more
they,
sense.
yeah.
I must have been getting tired by the time I got to
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so are we still into safety?
Yep.
So we have power outage failure, safety hazard, spiller leak, transformer issue, tree on lines, beautiful water rescue. Water rescue is going to, I guess that, yes, that looks good to me. And then
And
we have
safety?
these that
And
we,
safety, wasn't there something we talked about it under?
well, water safety can be, or water rescue is going to be a cooperation of police and fire.
So it could be assistance as opposed to safety.
I would say if we're doing a water rescue, it's more than just assistance. We are, I
But
think it
it's
should be
not-
under safety.
You do think so?
You know why? We got called one time to the lake and it got labeled under water rescue because there were some people out there very late at night on, I think kayaks or canoes, and they weren't wearing vests and one of them tipped over and they didn't necessarily need the full-on rescue. But you know, they
Okay.
were trying to just get them out of the water and lecture them.
We went through that fast.
And then we did these. These are the ones we just went through.
Yep.
And those. Okay. So I think that's good. I do get nervous about, like I said, and it's no offense, it's me trying to understand and grasp the idea of this, because as I told you before, I do not have knowledge in your arena. So,
Well, I'm just trying to make the numbers something that people can look at and grasp. And you can't do that when you've got 1 or 2 or 5.
I think it's just what my defense mechanism on it is, because I do have just 2 or 3 people that no matter what we say or do is going to still try and attack what we do.
That's going to happen no matter what.
And it's getting sort of frustrating. I have no problem admitting that it's getting very frustrating. And I have asked people to do ride-alongs and they don't want to, because the truth would then be shown of how important we are.
I can only speak for myself, obviously, but I, the only person that I think that's on the committee that's a bit antagonistic is Mike.
I think he wants to get to the bottom of things and understand a little bit more. And I'm glad that people want to understand more. But we are not in a business of being able to please everybody.
No.
For instance, I have sent an officer down to the south end of town for specific complaints that we've gotten, multiple specific complaints. And I could send them there 3 times a day, and sometimes it's never going to be enough for someone. And so, we're not, it's not, unfortunately, we're not going to make everyone happy
But
as much as
that's
I'd like
true.
to.
That's true of every governmental organization. Police are just more visible.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
they probably get more, I don't want to say complaints, but people who are disgruntled about
Yeah.
what's happening.
Now, I'll
But-
tell
but
you,
the point is-
this brought to light, that your grouping of this and studying brought to light, me moving forward with the officers, like, this is super interesting. I want you guys to make sure that you're categorizing things properly, that you're categorizing things in general, and then that you can even, I taught them that you can even, it brings up administrative. You click a box, it brings up administrative. You can do /report writing. So that in the future, if we want to say, how much report writing do you guys do? Boom, we can see how much report writing we do.
Yeah, and the other thing that can come out of this, now that we have things categorized properly, is to show the trends of things over time.
Yes.
And that's something that you can use in your decision-making
Yeah.
about where people should be spending their time.
I think it's so difficult the few years, because I think it'd be great if we had, people that are staying here for lengths of time, because when you change command, you change that command staff, then changes priorities sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, that happened, I lived in Shirley for 25 years, and we had at least 3 chiefs that I knew of. And I was on the finance committee for 7 of those years. So I had a lot of interaction with the various people in the government of the town. And I could see very clearly during that time, the attitude of the chief absolutely made a total difference in the type of policing, the type of interactions of the police with the community. It was just stark, the difference.
And it always matters who you choose, who you have, and what their goals are. And then it matters too, how much staff do you have? We're losing Marcus. We're losing Officer Johansson.
Marcus, he's the one the kids love, right?
Mhm.
Oh, God.
Yep,
That's too bad.
we're losing him. So now, in losing him, we are going to, things are going to look a little different, because how spread thin can we be until we get that in better shape?
But that means you've got to bring in and train somebody to the ways things are done in this town, which is clearly going to be different from any place else. It always is.
Right. You could, one chief could say, I really want you to get going in this area and, this subject. And then another chief could say, I don't even care about that subject. Do another. So then you're really just hurting your officers in the directions that, you want them to be. And then, so I'm just saying it sort of like over the past few years, it's going to change. Then you add in a pandemic and then everything changes dramatically. Motor vehicle stops, huge dramatic change. And now we are seeing the increase of the violations because of that. When we first started pulling people over, stopping people again to slow people down, they literally looked at us. There's stories upon stories out there from all departments across the nation, really. I thought you weren't supposed to be stopping people. So they were flying, or
Why would they think
incredible violations, because they knew that we weren't really not stopping people unless it was super egregious. Because that was the orders that came down from above. And so now people were then saying, why are you stopping me? I didn't think you guys were allowed to. And then our response always was, what do you what do you mean we're not allowed to? It was sort of a choice that each, department made for the safety of the officers until they figured out what was happening with the pandemic.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Didn't occur to me that,
mhm.
yeah, I mean,
I stopped an individual when we were coming out of the pandemic. I stopped an individual that was going 45 miles over the speed limit here through town. Now imagine if they're going 35 and then 45 over that. Because,
that's 80 miles an hour.
and they said, I didn't think you were supposed to be stopping
Yeah,
people.
what on earth of road in this town can you drive 80
So wait,
miles an hour
so then
on?
we say our intermittent reinforcement matters because when we weren't doing it, then you have this accidents increased, complaints increased, safety issues increased, and people just thought they could get away with doing whatever they wanted. And when you do not have police officers, peace officers, keep, present and showing a presence, people will typically not say, oh, I'll obey all the laws. People will say, well, what can I get away with now?
People say that anyway, but it's probably worse if I don't actually, I mean, when I think of motor vehicle stuff, it's basically stopping someone who's going too fast, or, if they have a light out or something, although I've been stopped for that and I'm always grateful because how do you know? But the flip side of that is just showing a presence, which is really important. And I recognize that's a big part of policing is just showing a presence so
Yeah.
that people know there's somebody watching.
Yeah, so we have a big problem right now at school bus stop time. People coming through the center of town, flying down the road while children are waiting at bus stops.
Well, that's because they had a year of no children waiting at bus stops. They
That's
got
right.
to relearn to pay attention.
That's right, but even so, it proves to my point that even so, it shouldn't matter. You should just, what if someone's coming out? It doesn't matter if, so, anyway.
We have to relearn how to be a society where you're interacting with other people after a year and a half of not being able to interact with other
Mhm.
people. And you would think it would come naturally, but no, it doesn't.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm retired. I live alone. For a year and a half, about the only time I went out the door was to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And that was usually because I needed dog or cat or rabbit food, not
Yeah.
because I needed human food. But anyway, now my social activity is almost entirely singing, which of course completely stopped. Now we're starting up again. And it's quite an adjustment.
Mm.
I didn't realize
Mhm.
how big an adjustment it was going to be. I mean, I look forward to it, but still, I sort of crawled into a shell and became an individual as opposed to part of a society.
Right.
And you have to
Right.
relearn all that.
Right. Yeah, so do we have anything else we need to
I
do?
don't, this has been great.
Okay, good. I mean, I'm learning as we go here too.
Well, if-
Becky,
if
we
you
are
can-
now closing our meeting, motion to close the meeting, the only second we have.
Hold on, bye. What was I going to say? That's one of the fun things about getting old. Stuff doesn't stay in your brain very long.
And leaving.